Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to talk about the WR450F, and I'm going to answer the question, is the WR450 a good dual sport bike? So behind me is my WR450F, and it's a 2006 model, one of the steel frame carbureted versions, and I've had it for almost 3 years now. And I've been riding it dual sport this entire time. And so I want to talk about whether it's a good dual sport or not. It's not a very popular choice, but some people do dual sport this bike. So, and the answer to that question basically comes down to maybe. It depends. It depends on what your version of a dual sport bike is. I've ridden the Tenere 660 quite a lot in Australia, and also the NX 650 Honda Dominator. They're all quite interesting bikes, and I wouldn't consider those to be fantastic road machines. They shake quite a lot. You feel that big 650 pot in there, but they're also really big and heavy as a dirt bike. So then you've got these bikes that are much more on the dirt side of things, biased much more to dirt than some of your other options, and they're dirt bikes. You know, the WR450 came from the YZ450 motocross bike, and you know, it has a wide ratio transmission, hence the WR name, and it has lower power. I think they make about 42 horsepower, but they're still quite racy. They make a fantastic dirt bike. So if your version, so my version of dual sporting is to ride as short a distance as I can to the trails and ride the most technical trails that I'm capable of doing, that I can find. And I have a wide range of riding that I do, some technical stuff in the trees, some single track. I love single track, actually. Some fire roads that are a little bit faster, riverbeds, rocks. I love the rocks. Open, fast riverbeds, a variety of different things. And the beauty of this bike is its versatility off-road. You can ride all of those things, and you can ride on the road too, and it does it all pretty well. And there are not many bikes that do it all pretty well. So the first thing that I want to talk about is tires. So tires are really important when it comes to what you're doing. So I run quite an aggressive tire. It's a full dirt tire. I'm running Shinko 525s right now, and the truth is they're not DOT rated. That means that I have really good grip off-road, and they wear quite quickly on the tarmac. So I avoid tarmac riding. Like I said, I just ride it to the trails, okay? The next thing that I think is a huge asset is my Tubliss system. So I run Tubliss, NewTek Tubliss TU BLISS, and that allows me to jack up the pressures and run on the road and do pretty well, and then lower the pressures right down to 5 or less and get up that steep technical thing and get that extra traction that you need. And the versatility that you get out of Tubliss, you don't really get from anything else. Now the engine, so you may see people who have the newer bikes. You can tell this is a steel frame bike. They went to an aluminum perimeter frame later on. It was not lighter. They did not really lose weight with that frame. This is a really great frame. It's easier to work on. And the aluminum frame, when they went to that in, I think it was 2008, they also went to fuel injection. But really, the fuel injection on the newer ones is quite rudimentary. You still have a hot start button. You still have, I think you still have a choke. It's very strange. And so when I looked at it and I saw my friend, I've ridden with people who had it, and I don't really feel like the fuel injection is a huge advantage. Now later on, in the newer bikes, they've recently redesigned them, I think in 2021, and it might be much more of an advantage. So the engine, it's very harsh. I'm not gonna lie. The engine is really harsh and rough. It's a dirt bike engine, and it gets fatiguing very quickly on the road. It's powerful, it's fun, but if you're gonna do long miles, and there's a few, there's a couple of reasons why it's not great for long tarmac miles, and one of them is the engine. It is rough. The engine has 5 titanium valves. They need fairly regular adjustments. It is a very good engine. People consider it to be one of the bulletproof engines, but it is still a race engine at the end of the day. It is still quite an aggressive engine. And so if you're expecting to get on it and do long miles like you would on a WR450F or one of the old XR250s or a Tenere 660 or something like that, a true dual sport bike, you're not gonna get the mileage out of it with the low service that you would out of one of those old school dual sports. So the transmission, the gearing I have on this is 1548. And the truth is that first gear is about as tall as I would want it to be for the type of riding that I do. So when I'm in the trees, when I'm doing the single track, I'm slipping the clutch quite a lot. And naturally you should, but I'd be slipping it even more if the bike was taller. And then it's only a 5-speed. So you get to the top, and really I don't want to cruise at more than like 80 kilometers an hour, like 50 miles an hour. So if your ride to the trails includes highway and you expect to cruise at 70 miles an hour, 110 kilometers an hour, this is not the bike for you. You'll kill the engine pretty quickly. It will go 110 kilometers an hour, but you are screaming the engine. You would have to completely change the gearing, and then that would radically change the way that it rides in first gear. So if you've done that, if you've changed the gearing, gone to taller gearing, let me know in the comments, because I would really like to know what this thing is capable of with different gearing, and if you think that's a good idea or not. The seat is very narrow. It's very hard. So I have gone to a new seat cover with that, and it gives me grip, and I love it off-road, but the reality is that it is very uncomfortable. It's narrow, which is good off-road because then you're able to maneuver the bike easier. You're able to move to the front, move to the back, get off the bike to the side, and maneuver the bike really well. But it gets very uncomfortable very quickly. And with the buzzing from the engine and the buzzing through the bars and the foot pegs and everything else, an hour on the tarmac is pretty much my limit. I have a truck, and I load the thing up on the truck if I have to go more than an hour on the tarmac. I just load it in the truck, and then I just go. So that is my situation. If that is your situation, then go for it. If you need to munch the long miles, then you should probably look at a different bike. And if you really just want to do technical stuff, there's better bikes. There's lighter bikes for you. So that's the pros and cons of the WR450F. Let me know in the comments what you think. Join us next time.